Welcome to FCC Supporters Square, for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Mark Shipman and Matt Foreman. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another episode of FC Supporters Square. For fans, by fans, about fans, between fans, amongst fans. That's our special guest today is a fan that you may not know of because we've been showing a lot of familiar faces. We've been saying on this show is that this is about fans and fan perspectives. Today's guest is Todd Grueninger.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Mark, how are you doing? You're looking good. I love your background.
Doing fine, guys. I thought on this joyous occasion with all of us joining in this Zeptones vibe, got to just blow it out here, man. Todd, obviously, you're a brigader, Zeptoner. You're just an overall nice guy. So good to see you, my man.
I've been around. I've seen it all.
Yes, you have.
As a matter of fact, that's how I warm up before a podcast is play a little Led Zeppelin before I get in here to get the juices flowing. So
Very
without
good.
further ado, let's talk about the draw that happened, the draw that we didn't think was going to happen. I said 2-0 if they didn't freeze, so maybe they froze. I'm not sure what in the world happened there, but the point.
Well, I'll just say this: in that environment, just with the true temperature and the just awful conditions there, for us to get anything other than a loss was going to be a true benefit. And being down 3-1, I thought there's not going to be much chance. But this team knows how to fight. They showed this, time and time again last year. And to get out of there 3-3, we just came alive in the 80th minute and couldn't be happier to bring that point back home.
What did you think, Todd?
It was very frustrating to watch. Kind of understood what was going on, frigid conditions. They just looked a little bit out of sorts. Mascara was a little bit off his game. But I have to say that third goal, the cross from Acosta, that little half kick smack right on to Santos and the way he finished it, I was jumping up and down. That was like a winning goal for me.
Yep.
The Chicago players' faces when that thing just barely bounced in there, but what a pass, what a stop, what a finish. It was beautiful. To get that tie on really what I think is like a play of the week any day.
Honestly, it's the reason why I wanted to join the MLS, because as much as the USL was fun, you watch how they play. People were always open on one side, and you'd kind of dribble around. But that was a world class. That cross you would see in a Manchester United or EPL game or anywhere else. That was a world class cross and a world class finish. And that's why I wanted to be in the MLS. And that was amazing.
Right.
Yep. I think Acosta coming in and just immediately putting his signature on so many plays, it just was the shot in the arm we needed and really put the fire that we needed on such a cold night.
And put the fire out a little bit too, didn't it?
Well, we at least brought a draw, so we'll just take it and go home.
I think my bad take was Angulo was a turnover machine. Right, the midfield was lost. I always say these games are won and lost in the midfield. That third goal was actually an Alvaro Barreal, but I think he was trying to pass to Angulo. That was just a bad pass. Just they weren't connecting. They were very much off kilter. Obviously, Lucho is the glue that makes things running. And I keep thinking, it kind of reminded me of the DC United game at the end of the season, the game that we needed to win.
Yep.
We took care of it early and often. And if you feel like a healthy Acosta would have played 80 minutes instead of 10 minutes, and came out the last 10, would have been a 4-1, 4-2, 5-1 kind of game because we had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Angelo, I'm all for Noonan giving guys that have proven themselves and are looking good in training to give them that shot. And certainly, I'm more of a Kubo fan, honestly, as we're going through this. I'm hoping to see Kubo get more legwork, maybe a start or two. But Angulo, I'm cheering for him, but it just didn't work out for him that much. So many turnovers, and he just looked to be struggling. Players get that one match. Hopefully, he gets that out of his system, and he's strong for us the rest of the season.
Todd, what's your bad take?
My bad take involves Angulo, but it's kind of on Noonan. I would have made changes right at halftime. I would have made the changes. I think they overlooked. Maybe they thought they were just going to Chicago and get this win. I think I would have made those changes at halftime. Like Matt said, Angulo was just throwing the ball away every time he got it. It might have made a difference there. Might have been a win, but that's past. You got to let the guy play. Maybe Noonan learned something on this. Make those changes a little earlier. I know a lot of coaches don't like to do that, but that's my take on that.
So, Mark, what's your bad take?
Well, my really bad take was this guy is just getting back off of having COVID. Saturday night, I was so sick, I literally fell asleep after Mueller scored that third goal. I was half asleep already, and I was out after that. So this guy, really bad take is I conked out way before the end of the match and had to go check my highlights in the morning to make sure, oh, wow, we actually tied this thing up. So terrible take. But I'm a lot better now. Thank you. And bourbon is doing a lot of help with that for sure.
It's very medicinal. That's why I take it.
Yep.
Well, so that leads us into this coming Saturday. We are at Nashville. I don't think anybody here in the panel is going to Nashville. Mark, are you going to Nashville?
I will not be able to go. No, I did not get tickets for this. I've got work scheduling that I can't just put aside, especially after this week for me. Just hoping that there's a large contingent. Nashville sent 3 buses up here. And of course, they took over our pub for a good long while. That stunk. So I'm hoping that we can, return the favor and get a good amount of folks down there.
Yeah, I think I heard this week that they are selling discount tickets. It's such a big rivalry; they have to discount the tickets because they're not sure it's even going to be a sellout. So I'm hoping there's a lot more orange and blue in those seats, not just in the away section. So, have you ever gone to an away match?
Not been to an away match yet. No.
You're gonna have to do it. It's a
I will.
fun time.
I will be doing it.
Most of your favorite stories that you tell, not quite on podcasts, are when you go to away matches. That's usually when the most interesting things happen.
Well, we did have a beautiful away match USL days when we went up to Indy.
That's true.
That was a fun USL away game.
Going on the bus, Mark, you remember that? You remember the Indy trip? That was fun.
Yes, I do. Very nice.
So, and as we said on the last podcast, and I'm going to keep saying this, is so more people who go. If you show up to St. Louis, this guy over here is going to do it. He's going to. He and I are going on a road trip, so come look for us. And I have a feeling that some kind of away podcast is going to happen day of, probably with drinks already started. So, and probably. I'm not going to say live, but probably at a public place with other people who will go crazy. So,
Yes.
Who knows what we're going to get out of that podcast? I don't know if it'll even be safe for consumption, but if it is, we'll put it on, and I think it's going to be that'll be a fun 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we are missing a lot of people. We're playing through the international break. I heard Atlanta's missing 6 players out of their starting 11. Playing through the international break is just not a good thing, but we're missing Junior Moreno. We're
Yep.
missing the backup. He's going to Ecuador. I can't remember who that was, but I saw that this week.
Yeah, I did too.
Kubo
Sorry,
is out with an injury. It's official already. He is out. So our midfield is very thin. Acosta's going to have to play 90 because I don't think we have anybody behind him.
Who was Vasquez called in?
He was not called up to the U.S.
Okay.
team. We knew that. No.
Okay.
So I'm wondering. I think he's putting pressure on him. I mean, there's another bad take. I think. Vasquez had several chances again. He had a one touch that he probably could have taken an extra touch and put it far post. You know, it's hard to you can't quibble because it's the heat of the moment. But he had a wide open look with nobody in front of him, and he missed the frame. And
Yeah.
for a striker of his quality, you can't miss the frame. I've been saying this before, but I feel like the ghost of Lacadia is haunting Brandon Vasquez.
Well, what I do see, I mean, the MLS site only shows Kubo being out for a leg injury, and that was known, but they don't have any of the other call-up stuff. But Nashville, though, they've got a laundry list of guys, mostly questionable, including Walker Zimmerman and Alex Mule. Both are questionable with I think Walker Zimmerman was ill. I don't know exactly what that is, but Mule has a upper body injury. So we'll just have to see if that is going to happen. And then 4 other people are either out or questionable. So it's going to be interesting, what we have in our midfield. But, I do expect, hopefully Obina has a wonderful match. Acosta, I think, is going to, just make some dividends. Arias came in. I haven't seen if he's had any recurring of his injury, so he looked pretty good when he came in. So we'll just hopefully that those folks with Barreal all puts it together, and we have a solid match on Saturday.
Arias was a full participant today and yesterday, so he's a go.
And he could be an X factor. He is something. So I'd really like to see him catch fire.
I think Santos is good coming off the bench as well. That's a change of pace. Well, it seems to be what we want to do is get Brenner and Vasquez up there and have them, try to sit back, and then as the other Nashville in this case grows into the game, tries to push forward, you try to wear them out a little bit and then bring him in the last 20, 30 minutes and have those long runs down the side. Santos has proven to me that he's a keeper. I wasn't so sure last year. I mean, he had flashes, but like a thoroughbred, he hurts himself a lot. But when he's there, he's actually proven himself quite a bit. So I'm very happy about that. I think offensively we have the weapons. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory. I know we play Nashville hard. It seems like it was it last year or 2 years ago? We scored 2 goals when we weren't good. So I'm guessing it was 2 years ago. We scored 2 goals, and then they scored 2 goals late. And if it was another 10 minutes, we probably would have lost that game.
Yes.
I don't see that happening. I see that this is they're a stout defense, we're a stout offense.
Yep.
I think we can make this a victory 2-1. What's your prediction, Mark?
Well, my prediction is I believe we're going to come strong, and I think it's a 2-0 victory. Nashville is 4th right now. We're 3rd. The only difference is they have 1 loss and we have 2 draws. So that's how close it is with us. So we've got to come out strong, and I just hope that we've got Noon's going to put the right guys in the right spot and get our system rolling because I'm looking to see the breakout in the way that we did last year. I haven't really seen that yet. I've seen the play, but what's very telling Brandon Vasquez, I think, came up as he has the most touches inside the 18 than any other forward in the league. So that's just saying he's getting the touches. The goals are going to come. So that's where I'm thinking he's due for his breakout.
What's your prediction for Saturday?
I'm in with Mark. Breakout game, 3-1 FC. I think that Vasquez and Brenner both score. And I'm looking at probably, I don't know where the other third one's going to come from. I think we're just going to overrun them. I think I could just see it in there was a surge in the second half of the Chicago game. You could just see it. We're sitting third in the power rankings right now? MLS
Second.
power
Second
now.
Yep.
Okay. So
behind LAFC.
They go down there, they've got a great chance to put two results between them and Nashville. 4 points. It'd be a great victory. We got to go down there and win this game. I think Noonan's going to put it all out there.
Yep.
So I'm going to say 3-1 FC.
Very good.
All right. One last thing before we get to our interview. Nashville believes this is a rivalry game. Mark, I'm going to let you kick this off. Is Nashville a rival, or is this something that they want to happen?
Well, for location purposes alone, I guess it's required to be a rival. Just thankful it's not Louisville. Let's just and just sad for. Well, I guess we got to be happy that they don't have Big Bird on their team anymore. So
yes, that's good.
Yeah. So
but, do you think it's a rivalry, or do you think it's just? I mean, it's a team and they're close, but do you I hate these guys?
No, I've talked to a few of the roadies on Twitter a few times. They're good guys. They're solid soccer fans, just like we are. So they like to amp it up a little bit, and that's okay. But we can call it a rivalry. I just think if we're going to make it a true rivalry, if we can take 3 busloads of their fans up at TQL and fill it up, we need to do that the same way, if not better. We need to send 4 busloads down there. That's how a rivalry gets engaged. Is the clubs have to stoke that flame. So I'm all for going all out to get to all of these away matches en masse, even chartering buses for it. So I'm all for it. So Nashville, I think just for location purposes, I'm happy that if it is a rivalry, because obviously we're going to see with St. Louis if that becomes a good rivalry. I think it's going to be. Both of us were in USL. Now both of us are in MLS. I think there's that camaraderie, but we'll just have to see.
There's a lot of pros. They are close. Our games typically end in a tie. For whatever reason, Nashville is the one that really stokes the banter. The Twitter banter has been kind of weird this week and slightly toxic for my taste. But hey, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I know I'd rather have good banter than weird banter, but it's always been Nashville goes, Atlanta's not our rival, Cincinnati is, and we're like, no, you're not. We have a rival. I don't really. When I think of teams, I don't think of Nashville. I don't know if that means it's a rival. So for me, if they weren't wearing yellow shirts, I wouldn't think of them at all. To be honest with you, I don't think of them as they're a team. I mean, do you think of FC Cincinnati and the Colorado Rapids? No, they're a team. We'll play them. I want to beat them, but that's true of every team I play. I don't think of as like, oh, I can't wait. You don't mark to circle the calendar for Nashville week. I do for Columbus weeks. Absolutely. From Seattle, for whatever reason, is now even more so because of the flopping from Seattle and their oh my gosh, you said some bad words in the Bailey. thing. So I think that's become kind of a rivalry now. I would think Seattle's a bigger rival than Nashville.
I would agree.
So is it a rival for you?
I think that the MLS created this regional rivalry and hoping that something happens. It's going to take a spark on the field. I think it's going to take that one bad tackle. It's going to take that one controversial win or loss. There's got to be a little hate that's created. It's not going to be by the fans, I don't think. It's going to be created on the field, and that lights the spark. It could possibly be, and it would be awesome. But the one I think is St. Louis. They're up to this huge, fast start. They're very St. Louis is huge in soccer, like we are down here in Cincinnati.
Yep.
I think that's going to be the clash right there. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But right now, Nashville's just I think of guitars.
Yeah.
I think of brides,
Right.
pedal wagons,
Okay.
drinking on the pedal wagon, and adequate barbecue. That's what I think about
Yeah.
Nashville.
There,
No, I think St. Louis. I'm excited for that because there is a city rivalry from the baseball teams. There's
Yeah.
a lot of bad blood there. We didn't really saw not so much in other sports. We don't have hockey, football. They don't have it now. But the two cities are very similar.
The Chiefs are in Missouri, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City,
Yeah.
Kansas. But that's the other end of the spectrum, and they don't like Kansas City. St. Louis doesn't like Kansas City either. But so it should. I think it's like you said, two huge soccer cities. I heard about the soccer capital brouhaha between Kansas City and St. Louis. That one's definitely going to be a rival. But I'm hoping that'll become a rivalry as well. So, as I said, we wanted to make sure that all fans, our views are heard here, not just the ones in the Bailey or not just the ones that you see on all the websites and all that fun stuff. So today I have my friend Todd Grueninger here. So Todd, how did you get into soccer, and how did you get into FC Cincinnati soccer?
We're back to 1971, Finneytown, Ohio. I started Say Soccer, right wing. Played Say Soccer through. I lived in Wyoming, played in Finneytown because Wyoming didn't have teams. So I would say that since '71 up until even now, where I still go play some indoor, I've somehow participated in soccer, either playing it, watching it, attending games. Watching it on TV 10 hours a week ever since 1971.
Wow.
So it's a lifelong thing for me. I've got a few teams I love. FCC, of course, is one of them. I don't think I know enough to be a top tier coach, but I like to talk about it.
Every weekend I've seen before even FC Cincinnati started, he was watching soccer. So fun story, how he got into FC Cincinnati is that I heard that there was a soccer team coming to town. Immediately got a ticket. I said, well, how many tickets do I get? I said, oh, it's just a placeholder. And I was like, oh, so you can get as many as you want. Goes, oh yeah. And so we were at a festival, and this guy over here, he was having a few hard root beers. And I go, hey, you want to go to the FC Cincinnati games? He goes, when is it? I said, next year. He goes, great, I'm in. And then walked away. It's like, okay, there you go. He was looking for, I think, a chainsaw carving bear to put in his front doorstep.
Yes, right home.
So you've been part of the brigade.
Yes.
Do you still want to? Are you a member this year? Are you a member of any other supporter groups?
It's the brigade. So I don't know if I signed up this year yet.
What's holding you back?
That's a funny you say that. Our scarves came in last week. So
Yes.
if you come to Nellie's next week at our home match, we have we have, what is it, 96 Rock and GRR, the whole family of radio stations apparently are at Nellie's while we're doing the pregame stuff. We do chants apparently on the radio, from what I'm told, because I do them. You can pick up your memberships and scarves if you're interested in the brigade.
Absolutely. And you can get your, whoops, it's right here. Put it on your mic stand.
I
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Tie it on.
So I remember you as a coach here in our local community. How long were you a coach of soccer, and who did you coach, man?
So Jennifer, my wife, and I coached here in Glendale almost from the time we moved into the village. So I would think we coached from about 2000 up until 2016.
Yeah,
We coached, of course, our kids,
sure.
and they moved up, and we had a lot of success, state tournaments, semifinals twice. But even after the kids were done and gone, we still kept coaching.
Hmm.
And I actually coached till all the boys in the were out of age group, and there weren't enough kids to have a team.
Yeah.
My wife Jennifer was coaching the girls. There were more of them. I ended up helping her,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of fun doing that. So Matt has coached here before. I do believe I was the soccer commissioner for a few years.
Okay.
I think he had to wear a special hat.
There was a big hat.
He had to wear patches on his elbows, even when he had short sleeves.
So there's been a lot of involvement, and it was very gratifying.
So here's I think a very interesting question. So you don't sit in the Bailey. I know that.
Well,
I don't think you've ever been in the Bailey. So what is your thoughts of the Bailey? Have you ever thought of joining the game in the Bailey? Because if you do, we'll make it worth your while.
I want to go in the Bailey. Right now, my wife and I prefer to sit in the seats. We're right on that E5 section there, and so I will join you in the Bailey at least 2 games this year.
Ooh, okay, that's a
That's
deal.
strong.
That is very strong. Mark, you know what to do, right? There's going to be lots of Jameson in your future.
There will be lots of Jameson being poured in the Bailey.
I hope you don't have to talk on Sunday because you won't be able to.
I don't do much on Sundays.
Yeah.
You will not be Sunday, Monday. When we had the St. Patrick's Day home game double special, I think it took me 5 days before my voice was. I sounded like Kermit, well, not Kermit the Frog, just Froggy. I was like, "Oh, hello, everybody."
I felt like that
Same
after
here.
the Seattle game.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my seats for the Seattle game, and I felt like that. I couldn't talk the next day.
Yeah. It was not very, it was miserable. But thankfully it wasn't bad.
I think it was the Ruiz dive that made my voice just.
Yes.
Oh, the Seattle Floppers. Do you have anything for Todd?
Well, Todd, I've obviously met you coming around FCC matches, and of course behind me here, we've had some joyous evenings listening to some Zeptones.
Yes, sir.
I only hope to see the gents get back to it and put out another blistering, amazing show. I'm just hoping to be there with you one more time for that, and I can't wait. You know, they can bring it as the Stone Bunnies. That's all if they want, but Zeptones are absolutely fabulous.
I love them. We want a concert this summer. Get it together.
Well, I have good news and bad news as far as that is that the good news is it should be July 5th. I don't think it's finalized, but July 15th in Glendale, the Zeptones will be there. But it's a home game. So I think a lot of you people listening and watching may not be able to make it. But if you decided not to make it to a game and watch Apple, right? You've got Apple TV Plus, right? So you can bring your little bring the tablets and so hopefully I hear inappropriate like cheers in a place where you shouldn't be cheering. So I would say that was a goal.
Why don't you bring a monitor and put it up there so we can
above the pavilion?
That would be great. We'll see what we can do. But we've got smoke and lights and
Other
and
things.
some awesome music. It'll be a good time. That's the shameless plug for Zeptones. But you ever think of moving into the Bailey full time? If you thought is that something you would like to do full time or just a part time?
Not right now.
Yeah. As you're a few years older than me, I can definitely understand. I've been in the Bailey since 2016, and I gotta say, this dude gets tired. This dude gets very tired.
Yes.
And pondering it myself, but yeah, I'm Bailey till I flop, I think.
Yeah, because I could tell you some of your favorite names and faces. Where I or the section where we sit in is the Bailey retirement section.
Yes.
There's a lot of former capos
Yeah.
and presidents and leaders of movements and whatnot. They're all over at our section going, yeah, I can't do that
A little
anymore.
Metamucil and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's a, but we've heard from our guests that they still give it to the side judge, make sure he understands who's really in charge here,
Right.
and
Hey,
still get a
Todd,
90.
I got one question for you.
Yes.
What is your favorite FCC moment or match? Just what one moment or match stands out among others?
You know what? I got to say, it's that game where we beat Chicago down in Nipper.
Yes.
The Mitch says no. I mean, I got to say that was just an amazing night. You didn't know if you could have been in the Bernabeu, the Camp Nou, Old Trafford. You were in the biggest event in soccer that night. It was amazing.
Yeah, the fact that it was on ESPN, and the
Oh,
fact that in the second half Schweinsteiger was taking a corner kick, and the Bailey, we were just going strong, but the corner down where Schweinsteiger was taking that corner, they were louder than even the Bailey was. We were just aghast. We couldn't believe the showering of boos and jeers. It was tremendous. I mean, there's so many takeaways, how amazing that match was, not only for our club, but for the city. And it threw us into the stratosphere. I mean, I think if there was one match that sort of made us worthy of MLS, it was that.
catalyst to the MLS, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, all the big guys were there watching. The A team was doing the game for ESPN. It just was so perfect, and the way that Chicago's shoulders dropped when we scored that one goal, and then Mitch, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And I know we were hopping up and down and spilling beers, and it didn't matter.
I watch those PK highlights every time I get. I don't know. There's no onions around, but I swear there are onions being chopped every time I watch that. It's amazing.
Just beautiful.
Yes.
Just beautiful.
What about you? So is that yours? Is that your moment?
It definitely ranks right up there. I was certainly there for the Columbus, the Jibby golden header.
That weird head ball.
Sorry. Amber alert.
Yeah, the craziest head ball of all time.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
Just angelic. How the ball just went straight up in the air. Whose header does that? No one's. No one's, especially. And he just leveled up, jumped up, and it was not close either. It was a good 12 yards out and put it straight in the corner. All of that was just amazing. That was my biggest moment, I think, just to see. And then we kept the clean sheet on him. That was so important. And Columbus, I mean, geez, we our first try. It's been tough sledding with Columbus, but we got the first one. So
honorable mention for me was being in Seattle and seeing the Bertoni goal, and just it was cold and just going nuts. I mean, And people who when I came back was like, "You were on TV." I'm like, don't know, don't care. It was just pure joy seeing that first goal go in.
That'd be a top 10 FCC goal of all time. Just almost put a hole through the back of the net.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful goal.
It was just
Well,
a
that's
blast.
about all the time that we have here, FC Supporter Group. Again, like I said, you don't have to be famous or powerful. Look at this guy here, obviously. So if you would like to join us, just go to fcc.supp.square@gmail.com and send us an email, and we'll try to get you on in a future date. We would love to have you. That's right. You don't have to be famous. You just have to love FC Cincinnati.
Amen.
For Mark Supin, I'm Matt Warman and Todd Grueninger. Have a lovely evening.
Nice seeing you, Mark.
See you guys. Take care.